When the news came across the deep space relay, Captain Mara Wren of Earth's diplomatic corps stood frozen in the observation deck of Lunar Station 7. The message was short, cold, final. Ambassador Alira Voss has been killed. Cause: explosive. Device: location: Zarian Spire. No suspects declared. No claim of responsibility. Mara didn't cry. She didn't scream. She just stared at the pale blue dot hanging in the black earth, so small from here, so fragile. And Alira, her best friend since cadet training, was gone. Not in battle, not defending, just erased dot. They had grown up together. Mara the strategist, Alira the peacemaker. While Mara studied tactics and defense grids, Alira learned languages, cultures, the quiet art of listening. She believed in bridges, not walls. When Earth was finally invited into the galactic concord, it was Alira they sent. The voice of reason, they called her, the soul of humanity. And now she was dead. The galaxy waited. Would Earth respond with fury? With grief? With retreat? Instead, Earth did something no one expected. It remembered, not just Alira, but every promise she stood for, every treaty she signed, every hand she shook. Earth didn't send warships. Not yet. They sent a signal not to enemies, but to every human colony, outpost, and deep space station. They killed Earth's ambassador. This is the end. No more warnings. Only ruin awaits. Simple. Final. Like a door slamming shut. But for Mara, it wasn't about war. It was about loss. Because Alira wasn't just Earth's ambassador. She was hers. And now, across light years of silence, Mara felt more alone than ever. Mara sat in her quarters that night, the hum of the station's engines a dull echo in her. Bones. She pulled up an old message file, private, encrypted, from 5 years ago. Alira's face appeared on the screen, warm, smiling, her dark eyes bright with hope. "Hey, Mara. Just checking in." The Variks talks went well. They're skeptical, but they listened. That's all we can ask for, right? You'd hate this place: endless meetings, weird food, gravity that makes my hair float sideways. But I miss your sarcasm. Miss arguing about whether peace is possible. You always said it was naive. I always said you were wrong. A pause. Alira leaned closer. You're not wrong, though. Not about everything. I see the darkness out here, the greed, the fear. But I also see light. And I think humanity's job isn't to conquer it. It's to remind them it exists. Like you reminded me, back at the academy, when I wanted to quit. Remember? You said, if no one tries, then darkness wins by default. I never forgot that. The message ended. Mara closed her eyes. That was the thing Alira had changed. Her. Mara had always been hard, sharp, ready for the worst. She trusted systems, not people. But Alira? She believed in people. Even when Mara didn single quotes T dot, and now she was gone dot. The days passed. The galaxy braced for war. Fleets mobilized. Alien species watched Earth's silent satellites, waiting for the first shot. But Mara didn't care about fleets. She cared about a voice. A laugh. A friendship that had stretched across planets and years. She wanted to talk to Alira. Just once more. But how do you speak to someone who's gone? She tried writing a letter. Typed it. Deleted it. Tried again. Alira, I don't know if you can hear this. Maybe you can't, but I need to say it. I should have called more. Should have visited. I thought there'd be time. I thought you'd always be out there, doing your thing, making the universe kinder. And I'd be here, watching your back. But I wasn't. And now you're gone. And I'm not okay. She stopped. Tears blurred the screen. She didn't send it. Couldn't. But she saved it. Then, slowly, something changed. not in the stars. Not in the war, not in her. Because Illyra hadn't just been a diplomat, she had been a teacher. And Mara began to remember what she had taught, so she did something small. She opened a public channel, not for war, not for revenge, for memory. She uploaded Illyra's final speech at the Concord, her message to the children of Mars, her letter to the people of Earth, recorded the night before she left, and she added her own voice. This is Captain Mara Wren. I'm not here to declare war. I'm here to remember someone who believed in peace. Her name was Illyra Voss. She was kind, she was brave, and she was my friend. If you ever doubted that humanity could be good, listen to her. Learn from her, because she was the best of us. She sent it out, not as a weapon, not as a gift, to her surprise. It spread, not just on Earth, not just in colonies, across alien networks, translated, shared, watched. A Zarian elder posted a reply. We did not know her, but now we do, and we are sorry. A young engineer on Proxima 3 said, I want to build what she believed in. And slowly, Mara felt something she hadn't in weeks. Connection, not to Illyra in body, but in spirit. She wasn't bringing her back, but she wasn't letting her go either. One night, Mara stood again in the observation deck. The Earth glowed. The stars shimmered. She opened her saved letter. And this time, she didn't delete it. She added one more line. I'll keep trying, Illyra. For you. For us. Because you were right. Light exists. And I'll help remind them. She smiled, small, quiet, real. Then she looked up, and for the first time since the news came, she didn't feel alone. Because even in silence, even across the void, love doesn't die. It echoes. And sometimes that echo is enough to change. The universe. They killed Earth's ambassador. This is the end. No more warnings. Only ruin awaits. But in the ruins, something grew. Not revenge. Hope. Humanity had been pushed to the edge. And from that edge, they didn't jump into war. They reached back into memory, into love, into the quiet strength of one woman who believed in peace. And through her, they reminded the galaxy, even in darkness, a single light can still guide the way. Mara Wren didn't sleep much after uploading Illyra's messages, not because of guilt, not because of war, but because, for the first time in weeks, her mind was busy not with anger or grief, but with what if. What if remembering wasn't enough? What if she could do more than honor Illyra? What if she could continue her? It started small. A school on Ganymede requested a copy of Illyra's speech for their peace studies class. Then a colony on Tau Ceti asked if Earth would share her diplomatic journals. Then, most surprising of all, a Xerion cultural officer sent a formal note. We wish to build a memorial. Would you contribute a personal memory? Mara stared at the message. The Xerion, the ones who had let her die. And now they wanted to remember her? She didn't reply right away. Instead, she went back to her files. Not military logs, not battle plans. Old voice recordings, private ones. Late-night talks between her and Illyra during training. Birthday messages. Even a silly one from Illyra's birthday 2 years ago, where she sang off-key and laughed the whole time. Mara smiled. Then she cried, because Illyra wasn't just a symbol. She was real, warm, funny, stubborn. She loved bad Earth movies, drank too much tea, and always left her coms on silent during meetings. And the galaxy only knew the polished version. So Mara made a choice. She wouldn't just share the ambassador. She'd share the friend. She recorded a short message, not as Captain Wren, not as a soldier, but as Mara. Illyra hated formal speeches. She said they made people feel small, so I won't give one. I'll just tell you something true. The night before she left for Zarian, she called me. She was nervous. Not about the talks. About forgetting her favorite mug. The blue one with the crack. She said, if I die out there, at least let someone know I died without my favorite mug. I told her to focus. But now, I think she knew. Not that she'd die, but that people might forget the little things. So I'm telling you, she loved that mug. She hummed when she worked. And she believed, truly believed, that kindness was stronger than fear. She sent it, and waited. Days passed. Then a reply, not from a government, not from a fleet, but from a child. A girl, 12 years old, living in a refugee settlement on Mars. Her parents had died in the Outer Belt conflict. She wrote, I didn't know ambassadors could be like that. I thought they were just important people in suits. But you're a Lyra. She sounds like someone I'd want to be friends with. I made a drawing of her, with the blue mug, and stars around her. I hope that's okay. Attached was a simple sketch of Lyra smiling, holding a mug, floating among stars shaped like doves. Mara's breath caught. She replied, It's perfect. And then she did something unexpected. She asked the girl if she'd like to help start something, a project, not military, not political, just human, a place where people can share memories of those they've lost, of those they miss, of those they wish they could talk to again. The girl wrote back, like a message in a bottle, but in space? Mara smiled. Exactly. And so, the Starlight Archive was born. Not a weapon. Not a fleet. A quiet network. A digital garden of voices, letters, drawings, songs, anything that said, I remember you. People from Earth, from colonies, even from alien worlds began contributing. A father shared a lullaby he used to sing. Soldier posted a letter he never sent to his brother. A Zarian elder recorded a poem in Alira's honor, sung in her favorite Earth language -Spanish. Mara read them all. And slowly, the weight on her chest grew lighter. She still missed Alira. Every day. But now, instead of silence, there was voice. Instead of distance, there was connection. One evening, Mara sat in her quarters, the soft glow of the archive interface around her. She opened a new entry. Not for the public. Just for herself. Alira, she began, voice quiet. I don't know if you can hear this. Maybe you can't, but I need to say it. I used to think love was weak, that only strength mattered. But you showed me something else. You showed me that. On a small farming colony orbiting Proxima Centauri, a boy named Kale sat alone in his room, staring at a faded photo on his tablet. It showed two kids laughing on a grassy hill him and his older sister Lyra, before she left for Earth's diplomatic academy. That was 3 years ago. Now she was light years away, working on deep space cultural exchange, and Kale hadn't spoken to her in months, not because he didn't want to, because every time he tried, the message bounced back. Recipient unavailable. Current mission restricted. He missed her. Not just her voice, but the way she'd ruffle his hair and call him Little Star. The way she'd stay up late, helping him with schoolwork. The way she'd say, no distance is too far for family. But now, silence, and the silence made him feel small. Forgotten. He looked out the window. The twin suns were setting, painting the sky in gold and violet. His parents were busy in the fields, tending to the new oxygen crops. No one saw him wipe his eyes. He opened the Starlight Archive, the network Captain Mara Wren had started. He'd found it by accident, searching for messages from Lyra. He didn't find her, but he found something else. Stories, letters, songs, all from people who missed someone, all from people who still hoped. One message was from a girl on Mars who lost her brother. Another from an old man on Luna who who missed his wife. And then Elira Voss's final words, shared by Mara, the one where she said, "Kindness is stronger than fear." Cale played it again, and again. Something in his chest loosened. Maybe he couldn't reach Lyra the way he wanted, but maybe he could still speak to her. So he sat down and wrote, not a short message, a real letter. "Dear Lara, I don't know if you'll ever read this. Maybe you're too busy. Maybe you can't get messages out there. But I need to tell you something. I miss you. Not just your jokes or your help with homework. I miss you. The way you'd dance in the kitchen when Mom played old Earth music. The way you always saved the last piece of cake for me. Remember when I was scared of storms, and you made that silly storm monster puppet out of socks? I still have it. I keep it under my pillow. Things have been hard since you left. I got picked on at school for being the kid whose sister left him. I didn't tell Mom and Dad, didn't want to worry you, but it hurt. And when you stopped replying, it felt like you forgot me too. But then I found the Starlight Archive, and I heard Elira Voss's message, and Captain Mara's story, and I realized people miss each other all over the galaxy, and they still find ways to stay connected, not with signals or satellites, with love. So I'm sending this into the archive, not because I expect you to get it right away, but because I want you to know when you come back, I'll be here. And I'll still call you Big Star, like you called me Little Star. I hope you're safe. I hope you're happy. And I hope one day we can watch the sunset together again. Love, Cale." He uploaded it, attached the photo, added a voice recording of him humming their favorite lullaby, the one Lyra used to sing. Then he closed the tablet. He didn't know if she'd ever see it, but for the first time in months, he didn't feel alone. Meanwhile, on a quiet observation deck aboard the deep space vessel Odyssey 7, Senior Cultural Officer Lyra Voss leaned against the glass, watching a nebula swirl in slow motion. Her mission had been intense, mediating between two alien species, working 18-hour days, cut off from Earth's network for security. She hadn't been able to contact home in weeks, and she hated it. She missed Cale every day. She'd recorded messages for him, saved them, waited to send. But protocol forbade it until the mission ended. She opened her private log. Day 87. Peace talk succeeded, but I feel hollow. I helped two species find common ground, but I haven't spoken to my brother in over 2 months. What's the point of building peace in the stars if I lose it at home? She closed the log. Then, on impulse, she opened the Starlight Archive, something Elira Voss had recommended in a training session. For when the universe feels too big, she'd said. Lyra scrolled, and then she saw it. A message from Cale. Her breath stopped. She played it, and when she heard his voice, soft, unsure, but full of love, she broke. Tears fell silently as she listened to his words. His song, his hope. He thought she'd forgotten him. She hadn't. Not for a second. With shaking hands, she opened a new message. "Cale," she began, voice thick, "I got your letter. And I'm so sorry I didn't reply sooner. It's not because I didn't care. It's because I cared too much. I didn't want to distract you, didn't want to break focus. But that was my mistake. Because family isn't a distraction. It's the reason we do any of this." She paused, smiled through tears. "I never forgot you. I have your drawing of our house taped to my console. I listen to your old messages when I can't sleep. And yes, I still hate storms too. I just pretend I'm brave." She laughed. "When this mission ends, I'm coming home. And we're watching every Earth movie we can find. And I'm making you that chocolate cake you love. And I'll never go this long without saying I love you again." She uploaded it, marked it urgent personal, rooted through Earth's fastest Relay. Then she sat back. And for the first time in months, she felt whole. Back on Proxima. Cale checked the archive the next morning. And there it was. A reply. Lyra. He played it. Once, twice, a third time. Then he ran to the fields. "Mom! Dad!" she replied. She heard me. His parents hugged him, laughing, crying. That night, the family sat outside, watching the stars. Cale whispered, "Do you think others are doing this too? Sending messages across the dark?" His mother smiled. "I hope so. The universe is big. But love is bigger." Meanwhile, Captain Mara Wren received a notification. New entry in the Starlight Archive. Brother to sister, a message across the stars. She opened it. Read Cale's letter. Listen to Lyra's reply. And for the first time since Lyra died, she smiled not with sadness, but with pride. She added a note to the top of the archive's homepage. No distance is too great. No silence too long. If you remember someone, speak. Even if you don't know if they'll hear. Because someone, somewhere, might need to know they're not alone. And beneath it, she wrote, "This is how we fight ruin. Not with weapons, with words, with love, with hope. Because even when someone moves away, even when the stars stretch between you, a simple letter, a single voice, a quiet 'I miss you,' can travel farther than any ship. And return with more light than you ever imagined." On a quiet moon orbiting a gas giant in the outer rim, an old man named Tomas sat by a small window, his hands resting on a worn acoustic guitar. Outside, the sky shimmered with rings of ice and dust, glowing under the light of a distant sun. Inside, silence. It had been 2 years since his daughter Mira left for Earth's deep space education program. She was a brilliant engineer, chosen to help design the next generation of colony habitats. He was proud, so proud. But pride didn't keep the house warm at night. It didn't fill the silence after dinner. It didn't answer the question that echoed in his heart every morning. Does she still think of me? They used to talk every week. He'd play her a new song he wrote. She'd laugh and say, "Dad, that one's terrible, but I love it anyway." Then the missions got longer. The signals weaker. The replies slower. Then, one day, they stopped. Not because she didn't care, because she was busy saving lives designing air systems for Mars, fixing power grids on Titan, teaching young engineers how to build homes in the void. But Thomas didn't know that. He knew was the silence, and the fear that somewhere along the way he had become a memory instead of a father. One evening, while sorting through old data drives, he found a recording years old. Myra, age 16, sitting right there on that same couch, grinning as he played a silly tune about a space cow who wanted to dance. She clapped and said, "Dad, you should share this. People would love it." He'd laughed. Who'd want to? Hear an old man strumming a guitar in a tiny moon house? But now, alone, he thought, what if she's forgotten the sound of my voice? Then he remembered something. A few weeks ago, his neighbor's son had shown him the Starlight Archive, the network started by Captain Mara Wren, where people shared messages, songs, and memories across the stars. He'd seen a boy's letter to his sister, a grandmother's lullaby for her grandson, even a message from Earth's lost ambassador, Lyra Voss. And he'd thought, that's beautiful. But not for me. Now, he wasn't so sure. That night, he picked up his guitar. And for the first time in months, he played. Not a silly tune, a real song. One he'd written for Mira when she was little, a song about a star that never fades. No matter how far it travels, he recorded it. His voice was soft, a little shaky, the guitar slightly out of tune. But it was real. That he wrote a short message. "Myra, I don't know if you can hear this. I don't know if you'll ever see it, but I miss You. Every day. I still make your favorite soup. Still talk to your old teddy bear like you used to say I did. I know you are teasing, but sometimes it feels like you're listening. I'm not asking you to come back. I know your work is important, but I wanted you to know your old man still sings, still loves you, still believes in the light you carry. Love, Dad. He uploaded it to the Starlight Archive, tagged it, for Mira Riaz, from Earth to the stars, and then he waited out across the galaxy. On a research station near Saturn, Mira Reyes rubbed her tired eyes. Another 16-hour day. Another life saved by a system she helped design. She should have felt proud, but all she felt was exhaustion and loneliness. She hadn't spoken to her father in months. Not because she didn't want to. Because on a quiet research outpost orbiting a frozen moon near Neptune, a young woman named Line sat alone in the dim glow of her workstation. Outside the thick glass, stars burned cold and distant. Inside, the hum of life support was the only sound on it. Had been 8 months since her best friend Jox left for Mars Colony Expansion Team. They had grown up together in the green domes of Earth's Pacific Rim 2 kids who dreamed of the stars, built model rockets, and promised they'd explore the galaxy side by side. But life had pulled them in different directions. Jox got the call first to spot on the Mars engineering crew. Lean stayed behind, training to monitor deep space weather patterns from the edge of the solar system. They promised to stay close, but messages grew shorter, then less frequent. Ben stopped. Lean didn't blame him. She knew how busy Mars was building domes, growing food, fixing oxygen leaks. But still, the silence hurt It wasn't just that he was far away, It was that she felt forgotten. She missed his laugh. The way he'd send her silly memes from ancient Earth comedies. The way he'd say, "We're still partners, right? Even if we're on different planets." Now she wasn't so sure. She opened her inbox. Nothing. She checked the Starlight Archive. Network that had started as a tribute to Earth's lost ambassador, Elira Vus, and had grown into something beautiful. A place where people sent messages into the void, hoping someone they loved might one day hear. She'd read stories like Kale's letter to his sister, Tomas's song to his daughter, Mara's words about love being stronger than silence. But she didn't know how to write one herself. What would she even say? "Hey, I miss you, but I don't want to bother you. I'm lonely, but I know you're busy." It felt selfish. Weak. So she stayed quiet. Until one night, a storm hit the outer belt. Solar winds flared. Communications flickered. All systems on the outpost went into alert mode. As Lean worked to stabilize the network, she noticed something strange. A weak signal buried in the noise. Not from Mars. Not from Earth. Not from JAX. An old message. Sent weeks ago. Lost in the storm bands. Just now reaching her. Her heart pounded as she opened it. There he was, tired, smiling, sitting in a dusty Mars habitat. Lean. "Hey, I don't know if this will get through. The relays have been glitchy. But I wanted to say I think about you all the time. I painted your favorite quote on the wall here. Even in the dark, we shine. You said that once, remember? When we were stuck in that storm back home. I see it every morning. Reminds me to keep going." He paused, rubbed his eyes. "I'm sorry I haven't written more. It's not because you're not important. You're the most important. But every time I sit down to message you, I freeze. I don't want to sound like I'm complaining. I don't want to seem like I need help. And I don't want to distract you from your work. But I miss you. Like, really miss you. And I hope you're okay." The message ended. Lean sat in silence. Tears fell before she even realized. He hadn't forgotten. He was just scared. Scared of being a burden. Scared of not being enough, not just like her. That night, she didn't sleep. Instead, she wrote. Not a quick text, not a formal note. A real letter, one she spoke from the heart. Jocks, your message finally found me. Like a bottle washed up on shore after a long storm. And I want you to know your words reached me. And they mattered. More than you know. I thought you'd moved on. That Mars had become your whole world. That I was just a memory from Earth. But you kept my words on your wall? You remembered that night in the storm? Jocks, you don't have to be strong all the time. You don't have to carry everything alone. That's what friends are for, even if we're on different planets. I miss you too. Every day. I watch the same stars and wonder if you're looking at them too. I listen to our old playlist. I still have the stupid friendship bracelet you made me. It's frayed, but I won't fix it, because then it wouldn't be yours anymore. I don't need grand messages. Just don't disappear. Send a voice note, a photo, a single word. Just so I know you're still my partner in this crazy universe. Because you are. Always. Love, Lean. She paused, then added, P.S. I'm sending this to the Starlight Archive. Not because I don't think you'll get it, but because maybe someone else out there feels like we did alone, scared, wondering if they still matter to someone. And I want them to know. Messages find their way. Even late, even through the storm. She uploaded it, and for the first time in months, she felt light. Like she'd finally let go of a breath she'd been holding. Weeks passed. Then, one quiet morning, a signal arrived. Not from Mars, from a relay station near Phobos, Jox's. Name flashed on the screen. She opened it. There he was clean-shaven, eyes bright, smiling like he hadn't in months. Lean, I got your letter, and I cried, like full-on ugly cry. My coworkers thought I broke the oxygen system. Thank you for writing, for not giving up on me, for reminding me that distance doesn't erase friendship. I was so afraid of being a burden. I forgot friends aren't burdens. They're anchors. I put your letter on the wall, right next to your quote. Now I see both every day, and I'll keep sending messages, even short ones, even messy ones. Because your rights, someone out there might need to hear that they're not alone. And I've got a surprise. My rotation ends in 6 weeks. I'm requesting a short Earthside debrief. If it's approved, I'll see you in person. First time in over a year. Get ready for the worst space cow joke I've ever written. He laughed. I've missed you, partner. When Lean finished watching, she didn't cry. She beamed. Then she did something small. She shared his reply on the Starlight Archive. Not for fame, not for attention, but because she remembered how she felt before the message came. Alone. Afraid. Unseen. She wanted someone else to know. You are not alone. Love does not die with distance. And sometimes, all it takes is one message to bring the stars a little closer. Later, Captain Mara Wren reviewed the new entry. She read Lean's letter, watched Jox's reply, and smiled. She added a new quote to the homepage of the archive. The universe is built on gravity, time, and light. But humanity? We're built on connection. So speak, write, sing. Send your message into the dark, because someone, somewhere, is waiting to hear your voice. And beneath it, she wrote, They killed Earth's ambassador. This is the end. No more warnings. Only ruin awaits. But we chose a different path. We chose each other. We chose hope. We chose love that travels farther than light. And in that choice, the galaxy learned. Humanity's greatest strength isn't in war. It's in never letting go. On a small space station orbiting a distant planet called Kepler 186f, 12-year-old Nara sat curled in a corner of her room, hugging her knees. Outside the curved window, red suns flared and alien clouds swirled in slow motion. Inside, the air hummed with recycled breath and quiet loneliness. She had lived here for 2 years since her parents, both astrobiologists, were assigned to study life in the planet's deep caves. It was an honor, a rare chance to discover something new. But for Nara, it meant leaving everything behind: her school, her friends, her grandmother, especially her grandmother back on Earth, in a quiet village near the old bamboo forests. Grandma Lynn had been her rock. Every night, before the move, she would sit with Nara under the stars and tell stories about Earth's oceans, about fireflies that blinked like tiny stars, about how love could travel farther than any ship. But now, the signal lag between Kepler 186f and Earth was over 20 minutes each way. A message sent today might not be answered for weeks. And slowly, the messages had stopped. Nara had tried. She sent drawings, voice notes, even a video of the strange purple flowers that bloomed once a year on the planet's surface. But Grandma's replies grew shorter, then delayed, then gone. Nara told herself it was okay, that Grandma was old, that she probably didn't understand the tech, that she was just tired. But deep down, she feared the truth. She had been forgotten. She missed her grandmother's voice, the smell of her tea, the way she'd hum old Earth songs while cooking. Most of all, she missed feeling safe. Now, she just felt small. Tiny. Lost in the vastness of space. One night, she opened the Starlight Archive, the network that had started with a lost ambassador and had grown into something beautiful. She'd heard about it from a visiting engineer. It's where people send messages they're afraid to say out loud, he said. She scrolled through entries. A father's song to his daughter. A sister's letter to her brother. A boy who finally said, "I miss you," after years of silence. And then something caught her eye. A message from a woman named Lynn, from the village of Qingfeng on Earth. The message was short. To my granddaughter Nara, wherever you are, I look at the stars every night. I don't know if you can hear me, but I want you to know I haven't forgotten you. I light a candle for you every evening, and I still hum our song. I love you, always. Nara's breath stopped. Grandma. She played the message again and again. Tears fell silently. She wasn't forgotten. Her grandmother was still there, still waiting, still loving. But the signal had failed. The message had been sent weeks ago, lost, in a solar flare, just now appearing in the archive's recovery queue. Nara wiped her eyes. Then she made a decision. She wouldn't just reply. She would show her love in a way that couldn't be lost. She remembered something Grandma once said: light never gets tired. It travels and travels, even when we can't see it. So she went to the station's observation deck and asked the science officer for help. I want to send a light to Earth, she said. The officer smiled. Like a signal? No, Nara said. Like a message.